Hello, everybody. Rafer Weigel here with Anchors Away. Today, I'm interviewing Tony Cox, the CEO of Experiom, a data, marketing, and technology firm. Tony, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Let's start with a bit of breaking news. As you know, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple CEOs are going to be testifying before Congress. And now some are saying that this is going to completely change the landscape of big data companies altogether. Why is this such a big deal, not only for companies, but also for consumers?
They're collecting data unbeknownst to users. And now, granted, these days users do know that some data is being collected, but still, you don't know how much Google has on you. It's amazing the amount of data. It's actually scary. I remember back when Facebook, started getting big, and as a marketer looking at the data that was available, I was shocked. I was like, wow, they're collecting that and we can have it? The consumers are being massacred with data collection from these companies that they're not aware of.
An article today in Yahoo Finance says that this is going to potentially break up these large companies altogether. Do you agree with that?
Well, maybe. There's certainly grounds for it. And it depends on what they do, how they react. Are they able to break it up themselves and adhere to compliance?
How important is building trust with consumers?
These days, building trust is hugely important. It's first and foremost. We're seeing this change to consumer-driven engagement, where consumers are going to be responsible for driving the engagement process and not the companies.
So it sounds like what you're talking about is a dialogue with customers and consumers.
Pretty much a dialogue that's it's a mutual dialogue, and where consumers don't feel like they're targeted, but they're engaging and they're actually establishing a dialogue at times.
How do companies pull back the curtain and reveal more about who they are in order to build that trust?
It has to start slow and grow. It's not like a one-time, hey, we're good. Trust us now. It's an ongoing earned relationship that you continue to provide that trust factor by doing what you say you're going to do, by committing to that offer or whatever it might be, of exposing more about the company that you normally wouldn't expose in what we call traditional marketing. The more you share of information, the more people feel okay with responding with information of their own.
You specialize in marketing technology and helping companies market to consumers. Is this going to completely change the way your company does business?
We've already kind of taken steps to get out of the arena of buying third-party data as much as possible. That data is aged, it's incorrect. There's a lot of problems with it. Not to mention, you start going down the edge of the road instead of down the middle of the road.
So you talk about the middle of the road. How do you get there?
So one of the approaches we're taking is partnering with Radical, which has the Voco platform, allows us to get consented data from customers easily, and also it allows us to target it in a way that we can fill in the gaps of the data instead of having to go out and purchase it from a third party, which again might be inaccurate to begin with. It really helps your relationship with your customer and prospects, and it allows them to kind of take control and go in what we're seeing as a consumer-driven engagement model.
When did you come up with this idea?
Well, I think as marketers, we've always had the idea of having nirvana of data, but we've never figured out a way how to get it. But this is definitely a very unique approach that helps us get there the way we want to get there.
Can you describe a little bit, when you talk about a value exchange, I mean, what are we talking about? Are you giving away free stuff? I mean, what is the value exchange?
Yeah, there's going to be lots of different approaches, and again, depending on the client, but you'll need to have offers and maybe discounts. There's a lot of different ways that you can incent, but there has to be a give and take. It can't just be a take, like it has been traditionally, where you're providing information, a better industry documentation, or whatever it might be that individual client wants. That's why it has to be client by client to develop that strategy and then roll it out.
Will this then extend the shelf life of the data that you've gathered?
We're seeing that, because the clients are engaged and they are providing that data, they're going to almost feel responsible to stay connected and keep engaging, rather than being targeted and know they're being targeted. They tend to back away from that shortly.
Tony Cox, the CEO of Experion, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with me today.
Thanks, and appreciate y'all having me.